letting insurance companies keep people like me from living well lives, whole lives, where I get to be present in my children's lives. So you can repeal the ACA over my dead and or crippled body.
Well, that was a, shall we say, lively town hall meeting in March. Congressman Michael Burgess returned to his North Texas district. He was a key player in shaping the Republican plan to replace Obamacare. And give you credit, those do get a little bit rowdy at times, and you don't shy away from them. You do show up and you take it.
Well, it's the important part of being a representative. You do have to hear from your constituents.
Some people have been vanishing. Oh, well, I have an important overseas trip I need to take. You don't do that.
I haven't taken an overseas trip in a number of years. But look, part of the job is hearing from constituents. Yeah. And I will tell you, I'm very fortunate. I have a congressional district that is very lively. It's very active. It had the largest turnout, the largest voter turnout in the 2016 election of any congressional district in the state of Texas.
What did you learn from that meeting in which, for example, that woman stood up there and said, "You'll repeal Obamacare over my dead or crippled body"? What did you take away from that? Because Obamacare has serious problems. But at least it's there.
Serious problems, and your story leading in about one of the nation's major insurers pulling out of yet more markets. And if something is not done to stop the spiral, it won't matter that you have coverage that you can't afford and you can't afford to use it. You won't have any doctor there to see you. And really, the steps taken by the House this past week, that's something that has been in the works for December of 2015 was when that bill was first passed by the House and the Senate. The people who said it was rushed through, man, it's been around for a long time. People said, "I can't believe you voted for it." You voted for me after I voted for it in December of 2015. Yeah. I was on the ballot in 2016.
Well, the repeal was what was voted on, right? Not the replacement. Was the replacement actually voted on?
The replacement was added this year because people were concerned about just repealing. But the repeal portion was there.
The repeal, right. I mean, it's easy to repeal something. It's hard to replace it, which is what everybody seems to be learning now. And one of the arguments that we understand was made to House members, Republican members, was just go ahead and vote for it. The Senate's going to change it anyway. Is that good deliberative legislation?
No. And the bill did come through our committee in a regular order fashion. We had a 28-hour markup in the Energy and Commerce Committee in March. And then it went another 18 hours. I'm also on the Rules Committee, so I got to hear about another 18 hours during the Rules Committee markup.
Right, and when you say markup, you're talking about debate and deliberation, which is what we expect out of Congress.
Every section of the bill has gone through, and the people who complained that the bill wasn't read, we read the bill in committee, start to finish. And it was a Democrat who asked that the bill be read. Unfortunately, most of the Democrats left the committee hearing at that point, went to lunch, and came back after the bill had been read. I felt it was our obligation, if we're going to request the bill be read in committee, by golly, you better sit there and listen to the clerk read it.
As torturous as it may be to do so. President Trump promised that premiums will go down, that coverage will be better, and that more people will have access to care. Can you make that promise too under the Republican plan?
Well, that's obviously the goal, and I think the path that we're on with getting this bill now through the House, and it was an important step, and it was difficult, as you saw. Senators have been critical of us during the process. Okay, good for them. God bless them. And now they get their chance to work on this bill as well. Clearly, the bill that left the House is not the final product. Not everything that I would have wanted to see in a bill, but nevertheless, it's over to the Senate. They will work on it now. That's how our system works. We'll come back for a conference committee at some point in the future, and something will get to the president's desk that I believe will help him fulfill each of those promises.
We're out of time, but I'm going to ask you very quickly anyway, the James Comey firing. How was that? Was that handled well? Does it look good in your eyes?
Perhaps could have been done with some more sensitivity to the director. I've always had a good relationship with Director Comey, but I will tell you, in December, there was a briefing that was Republicans and Democrats, House members attended. I thought he was a goner then because the Democrats were so virulent in their just discounting of his activities during the election.
The president said he was doing a bad job. Was he doing a bad job?
Well, he did have to correct his testimony that he gave under oath just a few days before.
That's happened before. Was he doing a bad job?
Well, clearly it's the president's prerogative as to whether or not to keep him. I have asked for some additional briefing and some information when we get back to Washington next week. I look forward to having that. I know several of the committees have talked about having their own looks into the firing. That's great. That should happen, and we'll all benefit from the knowledge.
All right. Thanks.
Thank-
You never duck questions. You must not have been in Washington long enough. Thanks for joining us,
Thank
as
you.
always.